This last tribal of yours, you get up and walk over to Rizzo. I need to know what you were saying.
Yeah, so what I said to Juwan is starts back at camp, if you don't mind if I take it back a little bit.
Okay.
So Sophie comes to me and she says that, we're gonna vote for Rizzo, but if he places idle and there needs to be a revote, or if there's a tie, we need to do a revote, that she's gonna put a vote on Juwan. I did not fully feel comfortable with this because I know that Nate had just went home and I did not feel comfortable putting, back-to-back Black people on the jury. I watched season 42. I know how it made me felt when I was watching it. It was not a great feeling and I didn't want something like that to happen again. So that's why I went to Jawan and I told him the same thing that I just told you. And I said, this is an out of game moment and an out of game conversation. But if we vote for Rizzo and for some reason we have to do a revote, I will not be voting for you, Jawan, because I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to vote for my ally, Sophie, even though I don't want to, just to avoid this situation. And I told him not to tell anyone, but then he went and told other people. And so that's what created the chaos and the messiness. And I think that's what flipped the vote on me. He ended up telling me that everyone was voting for me. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you fight for me? Can you, like, I just told you this information and I was fighting for you. So can you try to like flip the vote on Sophie? So that was my ask of him at camp. I had a plan where I knew that there would be at least 2 votes on me. We could put 2 votes on Sophie, 2 votes on Rizzo, so it would be a tie. And if Rizzo didn't play his idol, it would be a revote. And then we would then vote for Rizzo to get him out because that was the original plan. So when I went to him at tribal council, I asked him about that plan. Like, are we still doing it? And he said, no, everyone's voting for you still. And I was like, okay, well, can you at least put your vote on Sophie? And then I'm going to try to create like some confusion and chaos so that maybe one more person will put a vote on Sophie. And so that would be 3 on her, and then I could stay. So that was my ask of Jawan.
So at this time, when tribal gets really crazy, were you aware that it had gotten out and that everyone knew that you had
Yes.
revealed what Sophie said?
Yes. Jawan had told me that everyone was voting for me. And then I had had conversations with everyone at camp. And I think Sage told me that Jawan had told her. And so I was like, okay, all right. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. And so
Yeah.
it got messy.
So is that really the issue, or did Savannah showing up at the beach mess this up as well?
I think so, because before Savannah showed up, the vote was Rizzo, no question about it. I don't feel like Savannah showing up should have changed anything, but I think it spooks people. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think just, her and, Rizzo's by himself, but now Rizzo has an ally and they're able to have conversations. We're not sure what they're talking about. We're not sure what advantage Savannah has. So I think that made people nervous. And that is why Sophie even came to me about the Jawan vote in the first place. It never really had to change, but you start to freak out and things go crazy.
Yeah, and we hear in this episode that like Sophie's a challenge threat, but I think of you as a challenge threat too. Was there discussion of that?
Yeah, thank you. I think it had come to the point that Sophie had won immunity in the last episode, so they were able to see that. I was not able to participate with my group, so they didn't see that. But I think it came down to the fact that we were both challenge threats, but I was more of a social threat than Sophie was because I had more connections, and I think people could see that. And people wanted Sophie out, so their thought process makes sense. If everybody wants her out, why would we, like, she's a shield, like, let's keep her so that we can vote her out another time.
Yeah. But that's a bummer that you were trying to save Jawan or help Jawan, and then he
Yeah.
turns the vote on you.
No, it's a huge bummer. I was very disappointed because I feel like I was looking out for him, and I thought that he would do the same for me. And I think his way of looking out for me was him telling me, hey, they're all voting for you. And I'm like, are you voting for me? Because you know you don't have to.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was extremely disappointing. Um, but I guess just, just the way it goes sometimes.
it is the game.
Yeah.
You guys had a hilarious scene, hilarious and stressful when you were idol hunting and Savannah just interrupted and hovered. What was going through your
Yes.
mind at this time?
I couldn't believe it. My eyes had gone red. I was seeing red. The blood was rushing in my ears, and it was just so funny because you could tell, like in this game, like people are like, "Oh, MC, you were being so nice," and I'm like, you can't just because you might need to work with people down the line, so you can't just outwardly just like yell at people. You can, but it might not work in your favor later. But yeah, whenever she dashed for those keys, I was boggled because I was like, one, even if you grabbed them, I would have snatched them right back from you. But also two, you didn't know what the keys were going to. Like she had no idea about the treasure chest that was in my backpack or anything like that. But I appreciate the effort. So it was definitely fun and entertaining, not in the moment, but to watch it back later.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, I thought you handled it well. I mean, like what can you do, you know?
Right.
Except keep those keys for sure.
Yeah.
So the start of your game is pretty unique. Jason spoke about it in the edit, but we didn't get to hear you talk about it. I can't imagine the night before the game starts getting word that you are
Yeah.
now entering the game. What was that like?
It was so insane. Like when I think back to it, I'm like, I wasn't supposed to play. Like I was not supposed to be on the season. But the whole week I was imagining, okay, one of the women, they're gonna get scared, they're gonna get sick, they're gonna drop out. I'm gonna get into this game. I had no doubt I was gonna get into the game. And then the last night came, everyone took a cast photo. Me and Jason were not in it. And then the last night I'm thinking like, oh, I guess no one's dropping out. I was like, I guess I'm going home to San Diego tomorrow. And I had finally come to terms with that.
Hmm.
And then probably a few minutes later, they pull me to the side. They say that I'm going to meet with the Dr. Cat, and they take me to this corner. I'm like, Dr. Cat is not over here, and they pull out a phone. And they're like, how does it feel to be on Survivor 49? And I'm like, this is what I've been imagining this whole week. But the moment I finally was like, I guess I'm going home, this is when it happened. So I was speechless. I was like mind boggled. I thought I was getting punked, but it was an insane feeling to be able to realize that like my dream of being on Survivor was actually coming true. It was insane. I can't even put it into words, to be honest.
Yeah, that's so wild. Was there anything in the edit though that we didn't get to see that you wish we had seen?
I totally wish that we were able to see more like Hina camp life because I know it
Mhm.
seems like so happy go lucky, they're doing chants and stuff, but like we were strategizing. We just never had to use the actual strategy that we talked about. And yeah, me, Jason, and Steven had a really tight alliance as well that I wish they showed me and Steven's side, but Jason was in it too. So I wish that got some airtime. And I don't know. I was just like, I feel like there were moments where I was playing the game. Like people would go off and have conversations. I would go sneak behind them, sneaking behind trees, listening at the water well. So there's a lot of those small things that don't get shown. But I think in the end, it all works out.
How was this experience overall for you? Did it change you?
Yeah, I mean, this experience, I feel like it helped me become more confident in myself. And online, I've gotten a lot of support, which is like online can be a scary place. So
Yeah.
I'm very surprised at like the positive like reception that I've gotten and people like reaching out to me saying that, I inspired them or I inspired their daughters, to be strong, be who you are. And honestly, that's exactly what I wanted from my time on the show. So I'm glad that I was able to do that, even if I didn't win the million at the end. I feel like I still got some things done.
Well, you're still there in the jury, so we still get to see you.
All my jury outfits.
Yes, bring it. Can't wait to see. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.